Hi friends, welcome to Spark Nature. This week is all about the element of fire. We had two big goals, making pinch pots from terracotta clay and building our own kiln. We'll test it out this week, then fire the kids' pieces next week once they've dried. But first, a few important concepts.
Does anybody know what a kiln is? It's where you make pottery. Our fire here today, for the purpose of doing the pottery, we're gonna kind of restrict the oxygen. So we got a lot of small sawdust. Now the trees take in carbon out of the air, then the animals eat the tree leaves and the fruit, like maybe you even eat some fruit. And then as the cycle goes through, that carbon goes back into the ground and gets recycled. That's the carbon cycle. There's carbon in everything here on Earth. It's one of the things they use to see how old things are. You ever heard of carbon dating? We have to make sure that the fire stays where we want it. So we redug out our fire pit. We lined it with stones, and we've got some stones in the bottom too, and that's gonna help us because we're gonna try and cook some pottery in it today too. Now I brought some pottery that I've made. It's already been fired once, but it still can have water, so this is gonna be like a glaze. And one of the ways we control the fire is by giving it a little bit of energy at a time so it can grow, right? Kind of like you guys, you had your snacks and your lunch. You took in that energy so you can grow and run around and help us with the fire today. So we're gonna start together. We got a bunch of small sticks over there, some cardboard and stuff. Wait, so those sticks and cardboard, should I just throw them on there and hope for the best? No, right? We want to stack them because what was the thing we need? We needed airflow, right? So when we're building the fire, let's make sure we have some airflow. Most of the wood today is dry, so we can do log cabin. That lets the airflow go right in. You can use...
The kids got right to work building a log cabin style fire. Some gathered sticks while others headed to the stream to fill a bucket with water as a safety precaution. Before long, we had a roaring fire, then patiently waited for it to settle so we could transform it into a sawdust kiln.
So what we did for the fire was, because we wanted to get our fire going, but we wouldn't want the big fire, we wanted to make this into a little kiln so we could glaze this pottery in this case. And for you guys worked on your clay pots earlier. We're gonna let those dry out, and then we're gonna do this again next week in our fire pit here and see how this goes. So each of these different organic matter have different minerals in them, right? You eat bananas because they have potassium. They have potassium in them, and they can help you, you know, keep your muscles working all day. But if we put this in my pot like this, when that burns, that potassium is going to change the color of the pot. So next week, when you guys do yours, if you want to bring a banana peel, or maybe you had breakfast and you got a couple of eggshells. What are in eggshells? Anybody know what minerals in those? Calcium, good answer, Aria. Yeah, so each of these has a different mineral context. We can add different things to add different colors to our pottery and design them in that way. So, and then just kind of pour it in. There you go. So what does fire need, right? Oxygen. When we had the sawdust on, there's not a lot of oxygen getting to the middle of it. That's going to create the carbon. You guys remember we made charcoal earlier, right? We put our sticks inside of a container. We poked little holes in it, and it created charcoal. We're going to create essentially like a charcoal on the outside of our pottery to seal it so that it can hold water. That's one of the ways that people used to make pottery for them to hold water or tea, or maybe their honey in their houses back in the day, the prehistoric times, when you couldn't go to the store and get a little cup or container.
The kids loved this part, scooping and pouring buckets of sawdust, watching it pile up into a warm, cozy bed for the pottery. It was such a sensory experience, soft, earthy, and tactile, and a true team effort as they worked side by side.
This is about having patience for the long term of our goal here. It's not going to be right away. You won't be able to take it home today. We're going to have to be able to take it home in probably 2 weeks for it to fully cool. So great job showing your patience in this longer project. This is exactly how we're going to put your pieces in. We're going to start a fire. We're going to make a nice little bed of coals, and then we're going to add the sawdust in and let the sawdust cook. We're going to start at the beginning of class, and we'll see if maybe by the end of the class we can have them all finished.
Next up, it was time for art, making our own pinch pots.
Pinch pots are really simple because you just need your thumbs, okay? You're gonna get a piece like this. Hang on one second. And all you're gonna do is start pushing from the center out. Center out. And absolutely can add decorations to it. Look, I'm doing this really quickly, okay? You want it to be like a bowl, right? So you want it to be able to hold and smooth it all out. And what I'm also gonna do, I'm gonna give you tools. So if you wanna make a design on your pinch pot, you can draw with these, okay? You can draw with them because the clay right now is super soft. You can put it in between your palms, roll it like this, okay? Comes into a little sphere, a little ball. You can put it on the table. Watch what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna push straight down, and I made a donut. Now from this donut now, you could push it out a little bit. See, I'm holding it in my hand. I'm holding it in my hand. I'm just pushing it out, and now it's a little bit of a different design, right? It's not as wide. That's a good suggestion, Carissa. I like that suggestion because look now if I did that really quickly, you could turn yours into cups. You need to have a little bit of a handle. I think, Arvo, you made this, right?
Everyone took their slab of clay and began rolling, molding, and shaping their pots. As always, imagination took over and kids added intricate design and details, and some even creating creatures and other figures. Their pieces will dry over the next week before being fired in the sawdust kiln, and the excitement is building. Projects like this are at the heart of what we believe, learning through hands-on experience, patience, and real transformation. Not just creating something, but understanding the process from start to finish. Check these out. We're so proud of what they created. As always, thank you so much for following along. Stay tuned for next week, part 2, as we fire them up. As always, like, share, comment, subscribe. Help us to spread the spark. And remember, get yourself and your kids outside.